Welcome to our webinar, Family Members and Guests, What to Expect at Red Raider Orientation. We are excited to have all of you joining us today. My name is Christine Self with Parent and Family Relations, and joining me is Zach Manning from Orientation Services. This webinar is part of our Red Raider Family Webinar Series, where we share information on topics of interest to parents, families, and the supporters of our students. We hope this webinar will help you get prepared to attend Red Raider orientation with your student this summer and learn what to bring and what to expect. We will share some information about next steps, but this webinar is primarily focused on attending Red Raider orientation. And don't worry, as you can see on your screen, there are other webinars focusing on topics like financial aid and tuition billing, living on campus, campus safety, first-year experiences, and others planned this summer. We hope to keep this webinar to about 30 minutes or so. If there's time at the end, we'll open it up for questions using the Zoom Q&A feature. But in the meantime, feel free to type in your questions throughout the presentation. We do have some folks behind the scenes to help answer those for you. We are recording this session and posting it to our website so that you'll be able to review it again later or share it with others. I'll also email the recording link to the email that you use to register for the webinar. So to kind of get us started, I wanted to start off by asking Zach to share what exactly is RRO.
Yeah, thank you, Christine. And thank you all for being here today. We are so excited that you and your student are going to be coming to Texas Tech University in just a few short months. And so I want to recognize a few of our team members. So again, as you put questions in the Q&A function, you'll be hearing from Miguel, from Emily, McCaleb, and another Emily. There's two Emilys. So you'll be hearing from all of us. So just again, ask those questions. We will answer those as best we can. But what is orientation? Orientation is you and your students' opportunity to, primarily come to campus, meet with their academic advisor, and register for classes. That is the primary focus. But there's so many more things going on. We are going to have the opportunity for you and your student to talk to student financial aid and scholarships, to student business services, to military and veteran program office, talk about that financial piece of coming to Texas Tech University. But also for many of you, it might be your first trip to Lubbock and seeing what Lubbock is like, see what Texas Tech has to offer, learning about different resources, and also getting connected. Obviously, Texas Tech is a big place, but we want you and your student to get connected to other parents and family members, to students, to faculty, staff, and administrators. And so really, orientation is all-encompassing. We're going to do so many different things during those 2 days to really help you and your student feel confident in their decision to be a Red Raider.
All right, so one question we get asked a lot is, why should parents and family members attend orientation? Should we come, or should we just send our students? We really encourage you to come to Red Raider orientation with your student. The reason we want you to come is because we know that our parents and family members are crucial members of our student success teams. And we want you to be informed about all the resources available to support your student success. Like Zach said, you'll get a feel for what the Texas Tech campus is like, what the Lubbock community is like. We want you to have the opportunity to meet in person some of those Texas Tech faculty and staff members who will be supporting your students, as well as get to know other families who are going through that same transition that you are, the transition from supporting a high school student to supporting a college student. Now, know that you don't have to attend Red Raider orientation. Your student, it's mandatory for your student to attend, but as a family member or supporter of a student, you don't have to come. But it just kind of gives you that extra sense of knowing what Texas Tech is like, getting to see some of these things for yourself, see them in your own eyes. Also be that extra set of eyes and ears for your students when learning about information. You may hold on to certain things that you might want to remind your student about. Know that there is information available for you online through the RRO family portal, and that information is there to help support you. But we hope you do come and visit us this summer. And here's some more reminders about things to do prior to Red Raider orientation.
Yeah, so first of all, your students, once they've registered for orientation, should have access to their online modules. Those take about 60 to 90 minutes. And so we really recommend that they go ahead and take care of those, knock those out before coming to campus for orientation. Those are required prior to them registering for classes. Again, as y'all are starting to get ready for coming to campus, coming to orientation, The orientation schedule is available on our website, just www.orientation.ttu.edu. You'll scroll down there and you'll see details about the schedule, and you'll receive even more details as we get closer to orientation. Removing holds. Again, holds impact your students' ability to register for classes. These holds include housing, TSI, the Texas Success Initiative, and immunizations. The more you can take care of before getting here to campus, the better off you and your student will be. Another piece that's new is the orientation, the RRO family portal. This provides information to you so that you can, again, help support your students as they come to Texas Tech University. And then details about registering your vehicle and things, downloading guidebook app, everything you need for orientation will come to you via email, you and your student via email 1 week prior to their registered orientation. So make sure you're checking your email, make sure your students checking their Texas Tech email to make sure you get all that taken care of prior to orientation.
And if you could share just some more details, people ask a lot about what do my guest fees include?
Yeah, so we do have different guest fees for that. Anybody age 8 and over, it's a $35 guest fee. For those 7 and under, there is no fee for them to attend Red Raider orientation, but it does cover program materials that you'll receive. You'll receive a bag, you'll receive schedules, you'll receive a number of materials from Parent-Family Relations. Dinner on that first night of orientation, as well as a Texas Tech shirt you can take and wear proudly whenever you head back home. City of Lubbock bus tours, our staffing, our parking, and different administrative and technology costs. So that $35 does need to be paid in advance. And if you're not sure who all's coming to orientation, we can still add guests up until the week of orientation for your student.
And we've seen some questions already about the orientation schedule. And again, you can see that schedule, kind of a skeleton version of it on the website, and you'll certainly get a detailed, complete schedule once you check in. But we wanted to go over some schedule highlights for you, so you'll kind of know what to expect. So on day 1 of your orientation session, you'll have check-in. That's going to be at the Student Union building. Sorry, I'm looking at the Q&A, and I shouldn't do that while I'm trying to talk. So check-in will be at the Student Union building. Parking will be at the Z2 parking lot off 17th and University. Again, as Zach mentioned, you'll get details about parking about a week out of Red Raider orientation. I'll show you on a map here shortly where all this is located on campus. But during check-in, your student will receive items that they're going to need during orientation. They'll also have the opportunity to get their room key for staying on campus at Horn Knapp Residence Hall, which is nearby. Families and guests, just know that you'll need to arrange for hotel accommodations, but your student will stay on campus with us. I think Zach mentioned that guests will receive a bag. It's going to be one of those great clear bags that you can bring to Jones AT&T Stadium or the United Supermarkets Arena for attending athletic events. It'll have some goodies inside for you, including a Red Raider family decal, a double T pin, and a postcard from home that you can write to your student. After check-in, there's some other things that you can do, like if you didn't get the opportunity to get those holds removed, again, as Zach mentioned, we hope your student will remove those ahead of time, but there will be some last-minute resources for hold removal. There will be a general welcome session that you'll attend with your students, everyone all together in our Allen Theater. And then there will be college welcome sessions. So for those of you who are not sure about the terminology, because we get questions about this too, Texas Tech University is the overall university, but within Texas Tech University, there are various colleges, like our Rawls College of Business, our College of Human Sciences, our College of Education, just for example, and your student's major determines what college they're in and what college welcome they'll attend, and you'll go with your student to those college welcomes. It'll be a great opportunity to get to learn more about those colleges and what they have to offer your student. After the college welcome session, students will be in small groups with other students and Red Raider families. You'll come back to the Allen Theater in the Student Union building for our session, Red Raider Families Supporting Your Students' Transition. So during that session, you'll learn all about your Red Raiders Success Network at Texas Tech, as well as how to get involved as a family member of a Texas Tech student. And then after that session, it turns into choose your own adventure. There's a number of breakout sessions that you can attend depending on what you're interested in and what your student's interested in. Some of the breakout sessions include financial aid, fraternity and sorority life, study abroad. There's a student organization fair where your student can learn how to get involved on campus, and lots of others that you can choose from. During all of that is our campus resource fair. And so that is in our student union ballroom, where you can go and visit with some of the resources that can help support your students. Some of those you will have learned about in your session. So you can go visit directly with those folks and ask them questions and pick up some swag while you're there too. Everyone's going to have dinner together, so bring your appetite for fajitas. That'll happen right there in the student union. And then after dinner, students will go off and have some fun socializing with other students and learning about student life on campus, while our parents and families will come to the Parent and Family Social at the McKenzie Market Alumni Center. This social is hosted by our Texas Tech Alumni Association. We hope that you will use that time to relax and unwind, pick up your orientation guest shirt that Zach mentioned, enjoy some beverages, and meet other Red Raider family members. So students, just so you know, students will have programming till pretty late in the evening. So after the social, use your time to enjoy the Lubbock community. Or if you're like me, you're probably tired after all of this activity, you're just going to go back and enjoy your hotel room. And then day two, there's lots of other activities continuing on.
Yeah, and so a few questions that popped up is, what is my student going to be doing? As much as we want to prepare you to be that resource while you go home, we're having our students get connected. They are led by our orientation crew, and they are all current students who are helping them get connected and answer questions that they might have about their experience at Texas Tech. And then, of course, they will go to the rec center later on in the evening on that first day. But on the second day, really that primary focus is that advising and registration. So we ask that everybody be there. We're going to have a registration preparations and / student success preparation at 8:30 a.m. And then at that point, students and family members and guests will all go to their academic colleges. Please note that every college does things just a little bit differently. Okay, so as much as your student might be in arts and sciences, you might have a friend who's over in the College of architecture. They're going to be doing things a little bit differently, but no matter what, we are going to make sure that you are a part of an advising session to help prepare you to support your student when you head home. So that's what that's going to look like. And like I mentioned earlier, an opportunity to talk individually with student financial aid and scholarships, student business services, as well as military and veteran programs to figure out how paying for their time at Texas Tech University is going to get taken care of. Just so y'all know, there will not be a bill generated during orientation. That'll be sent out in late July, and bills will be due August 21st. So keep an eye out for that. Tours, again, we want to provide you an opportunity to see residence halls. So I saw a few questions pop up. We'll be able to see a particular residence hall while we're at orientation. Your students will have a room in Horn Nap, and then they will also be able to see a room in Talkington, as well as a room in Stengel Murdo. So that really covers the three main types of residence halls that we have here on campus. Again, the library and the Undergraduate Writing Center are partnered together to provide you more information about how valuable those resources are for your students. Then, of course, we'll have a City of Lubbock bus tour. We'll have 2 of those available. It's about an hour long, but it's on a charter bus to kind of show off, what Lubbock has to offer you and your student. We always recommend that you do not make plans to leave before 2 p.m. just to make sure you have time to get your student advised, registered, answer all the questions you have prior to leaving campus on that second day of orientation.
Just to give you an idea of where most things will happen during Red Raider orientation, again, so you can kind of know what to expect. You'll be parked at the Horn Nap Residence Hall. This is where our students will be staying on campus. It's called the Z2 parking lot. It's right off 17th and University, and there will be signage there to direct you on where to park. The student union building, it's where check-in will be in a lot of the breakout sessions and a lot of those meetings. And that's just pretty close right across the street. And then you can also see on your map the McKenzie Market Alumni Center. This is where the Parent and Family Social will happen in the evening. So all of these things are fairly close together. For perspective, this is off 19th Street and University Avenue. This is on the southeast corner of our campus. Now, just because these things are close together does not mean that the college welcome sessions and the college advising sessions are going to be very close to these areas. So do plan to do some walking. And here is some additional information about parking. Again, you'll park at that Horn Nap Residence Hall parking lot where the students are staying. Be sure and watch signage. Don't park in any other lots that are reserved for Texas Tech faculty and staff. And as Zach mentioned a little bit earlier, before about a week ahead of your session, you and your student will receive some additional information with parking registration instructions. I've seen a lot of things popping up about what to bring. So Zach, do you want to talk about what students should bring with them?
Yeah, of course. And so as we mentioned, your student will have an opportunity to stay the night in the Horn Nap Residence Hall. Making sure that they bring linens for that is a twin XL bed sheet. If you want to bring fitted sheets, if they just want to bring a sleeping bag, they can do that too, really whatever works best for them. Also at orientation, they will pick up their Texas Tech University ID. This is always something students are very excited about and very anxious to receive. So make sure they bring a government issued ID in order to pick that up. If they don't have it at the time of their orientation, they'll be able to pick up their ID at move-in. So don't have them stress about that. One thing, students are very particular about the picture that's on their ID. They can upload their pictures right now to the ID office. And so that can be the very specific picture they want on their ID. They can do that. There are a few restrictions on it. It can't be like a glamour shot or anything like that, but they can upload their pictures right now for their student ID. Also, if available, bring a laptop or a tablet that your student feels comfortable utilizing for course registration. And so that's, again, just a level of comfort there. And if you have access to a laptop or a tablet, we definitely recommend bringing that to orientation. Again, bedding and towels for the stay at Horn Nap. It's one night, but it's a good practice run for what life is going to be like in the fall, right? What is it like to live in that residence hall? And sometimes people are like, well, what if I want to room with someone very specifically? Well, that rooming assignment is done during orientation check-in. So if you know your student wants to room with their best friend, make sure they come to check in together so they can both get in the same room. So make sure they're just going through that process together. Then, of course, that night, that first night, after we have the fajita dinner, as parents go to their social, we'll have an activity called Raider Life, where students are starting to learn more and more about what life is like in Lubbock, what life is like on campus. And then we had to head to the rec center. They can climb the rock wall, they can swim, they can lift weights, play basketball, dodgeball, whatever it is they want to do, they can do that. So make sure they bring attire for the rec center. If they have no desire to do anything athletic, they can simply sit down, relax, and have conversations with other students. But those are the main things to bring for your students to orientation. And I think I saw, a lot of y'all might be coming from out of state. So yes, if it's a California driver's license or a Colorado driver's license, New Mexico, that's perfectly fine as long as it's a government issued ID. Make sure it's not like their Blockbuster card or something like that.
I love the idea of someone having a Blockbuster card. That's great. So here's what to bring if you are a family member or guest. So if you need to take advantage of some of those individual meetings with financial aid or military and veterans programs, you might want to bring those financial documents that they might need to see. As I mentioned earlier, there's going to be some walking involved. So make sure that you're wearing casual, comfortable clothing and especially comfortable shoes. It is a large campus. If you want to take some of those campus tours or residence hall tours, or just really getting from the student union to your college welcome sessions, or our college advising session may require a little bit of walking here. So though Texas is hot in the summer, usually it can be very hot outside. It can also be very cool in some of the meeting rooms. So you might want to bring a light jacket or cardigan. Make sure your student has money for meals not included in the RRO schedule. And again, you can see that schedule online and you'll get a detailed copy when you arrive. Student immunization records can actually be uploaded online ahead of time. That's another one of those great holds to get taken care of before Red Raider orientation. But if you've got some last minute documentation that you need to present, you can bring that as well. And here's some general information on kind of what to expect as far as attending these sessions.
Yeah, so as we've talked about a few times, there are going to be certain times where everybody is together, and there's going to be certain times where y'all are split up. I would say about 80% of the time, y'all will be spending time together. But we do have time for students to create connections with other new students, with current students. And like Christine mentioned, we want to make sure that you are prepared to be a part of that student success team when you head home, whether that be down the street in Lubbock or that be to Houston. Or I think I saw someone was asking questions about Africa. No matter where you're at, we want to make sure you're a part of that student success team. So we're going to provide you with resources to help support your student no matter where you're going. And your student will be meeting people from all over the place. There's a good chance they might know somebody as they come to Texas Tech University, and there's a good chance they know nobody. But no matter what, by the time they finish their orientation, we want to make sure they've connected with other new students and with current students to tell them a little bit about what life is going to be like here on campus. And as you mentioned, students will meet with their advisors. So that's the primary focus of orientation, meeting with their academic advisor and registering for classes. Again, parents and family members and guests will be going to an advising session, but each college does things a little bit differently. And so some you can expect to be in the office with the advisor. Some you might be spread up just because of the size and the quantity of students coming through that college. So please note it will vary by college, but you will have a part in that process. Again, as I mentioned earlier, you will not need to pay tuition and fees at orientation. Okay, that tuition bill is due August 21st. And so again, make sure your students are aware of checking their e-bill, checking their email regularly to receive that. You can also set up a payment plan to do that. And it's a $25 fee to set up a payment plan. But our student business services, as I mentioned, they'll be presenting at Red Raider orientation. They'll also be available for one-on-one meetings. So if you have questions about financial aid or the bill that your student will receive, both of those will be available to talk to you in a presentation and individually during Red Raider orientation.
Just some other things to make sure that you take advantage of while you're at Red Raider orientation. Make sure that you don't leave without asking questions. There are plenty of opportunities built in to ask questions, either from the colleges, from our staff, from orientation staff. Make sure that you get your questions answered for you while you're here. And of course, you can always contact us afterwards too. Make sure that you connect with parent and family relations. We are your office on campus to help support you, to help, again, make sure that you're a valuable part of your student success team. We're here to keep you informed. So please make sure that you connect with our staff. There's plenty of time built in for you to do that. And again, just meet some other families, from your hometown who are, you might meet someone at orientation that you didn't even know whose student was coming to Texas Tech, or meet other families who are in your student's major. We want you to be able to make those connections with other Red Raider families while you're here as well.
Yeah, I've seen a few questions come through, Christine. I kind of want to address. Your student does not need to set up an advising appointment prior to orientation. That's part of our process. It's already set up. It's ready to go. The advisor knows you're coming. The advisor knows your student is coming. So with that being said, on those updates, be sure that your student is checking their emails, their Texas Tech email regularly for updates about orientation, also housing, advising, involvement opportunities, a number of different things. So please make sure they're checking their Texas Tech email, but nothing needs to be done prior to orientation about doing that. Another tool that I really want to recommend, and we'll put it in the chat here, is the admitted student task list. There's instructions on how to upload immunization records, instructions on how to upload ID photos. A number of questions that I've seen pop up in the Q&A there can all be addressed on our website, which is www.orientation.ttu.edu, or the admitted student task list. But they're all available on our website. So make sure your student is checking their Texas Tech email, but also visit our website and take a look in there. And if you need anything else, always give us a call.
So let's talk about some next steps. I'm seeing a lot of questions in the chat about when is move-in day? When do students move in into their housing for the fall? So your students will receive an email from the from University Student Housing about signing up for a time slot for move-in. You can visit the link that you're seeing there. It's just www.housing.ttu.edu for detailed information related to move-in. But your student gets to pick when they move in. It could be anywhere from August 12th up till when classes start. So make sure that you take advantage of that. Also, a lot of people ask, well, if my student moves in early, what will they do during that long period of time between when classes start? And so know that we have Raider Welcome, which is a number of events and activities designed to help get your students out on campus, out of their rooms, meeting people, and really figuring out what their involvement is going to look like while they're a Texas Tech student. So don't worry about your student not having anything to do if they move in early. What that move-in day, what time slot to pick is really up to each family. We always encourage people to move in as early as they feel comfortable, just so that your student will have some time to acclimate themselves to the campus before classes start and they get really busy with classes. So just know that Raider Welcome is a great opportunity for your student to really get involved at Texas Tech and see what it's going to be like.
Another great opportunity to support your students and help prepare them for life at Texas Tech University is Red Raider Camp. So Red Raider Camp, there are 4 sessions that take place in Lake Brownwood at the 4-H Conference Center. Don't let the word camp fool you. They're staying in air-conditioned cabins. The food is amazing. But this is really, you've taken care of business at orientation. This is their opportunity to create those social connections even further. So that, again, when they move in, they already know who's going to be on their intramural team, who they're going to study with, and who's they're going to go eat at One Guys with. This is what we're going to do. And they experience history and traditions. We have bell circles, bonfires. We do high ropes, low ropes. And learning from the pros, this is just an opportunity to ask so many questions of our current students who are leading the program. And meeting other students they're going to be in class with, they're going to live in the residence halls with. So spaces are filling up for Red Raider Camp. So I highly recommend you check that out and check that out for your student. But there's still time to sign up for that. And just really recommend doing that so that they can take care of that social aspect prior to moving in.
And here's some next steps for you as parents or family members of our students. So make sure that you visit our website. It's another easy one to remember, and it's in the chat for you. It's just www.parent.ttu.edu. We have some additional webinars that you can sign up for, including preparing financially for college. So if you want to learn more about student business services and tuition billing or financial aid and how all of that works, we have that webinar coming up on June 7th. We have a health and well-being webinar scheduled for June 21st. So if you want to learn about how, what happens if your student gets sick, how does student health services work, or what can student counseling do to support my students' mental health? Those things, that webinar is coming up on June 21st. Some other topics, campus safety later in June, and that very last one, preparing for on-campus living, July 26th, is a really good one. One thing about our webinars, including this one, is that we post recordings. So if you're not able to attend these, we'll post a recording there for you on that same website. And there's also one that you can view right now that may be really interesting to you. It's about removing holds. We recorded it in February, and it talks a lot about all those holds that may be preventing your student from registering. So you want to check that one out too. We also want you to sign up for our Red Raider Family Newsletter. You can do that at our website. This will help keep you informed well after orientation is over. You've gone home, maybe you forgot everything you learned at orientation. Don't worry, we're here to help keep you informed, and we'll send you reminders about all the resources that you learned about at orientation. We would love for you to come visit your student during family weekend. That's going to be September 29th and 30th. The link has just been put in the chat for you. So this is a great opportunity to come visit campus. There will be discounted football tickets on sale this summer for you to come. There will be our Parents Association will host a dinner that night. Bookmark that, or sorry, save that date, bookmark that website, and know that those event tickets and schedules and all of that will be available later this summer. If you can't come that weekend, we understand folks are busy. We want you to visit campus and see your student whenever it's convenient for your family. So we maintain a family days calendar on that same website where you see for family weekend that just talks about some of the great things you can do in Lubbock while you're here. So make sure you check that out. Again, those are some next steps for you as parents and family members.
And again, I know we've had a lot of questions come through here, and you're going to have more questions beyond today. If you or your student have any questions whatsoever, there's a lot of information on our website. It's www.orientation.ttu.edu. If that doesn't do the trick, if you can't find it there, please email us, orientation@ttu.edu. Call us 806-742-2993, or you can follow us on Instagram at TTU Orientation. Again, we want to make sure that you and your students are prepared for Red Raider orientation. So please ask whatever question you have. We are happy to answer those for you.
And speaking of questions, we are at time, but please continue to put your questions in using that Q&A feature, and we will answer those for you. As a reminder, there are some upcoming webinars that I think can help even better answer your questions about these specific topics. So put those in your calendar. Again, visit the website that's in your chat for additional webinars and to view recordings. So please keep those questions coming. We're going to keep answering those for you. Before you head out, we would love to know how we did today. So please take our quick survey if you can take just a minute. And then we've put our contact information up there for you so that you can always reach out to us whenever you have questions. So keep those questions coming. I'm going to stop the recording, but we will stay on here online to help you with those questions.
And Christine, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're playing University of Houston. Is that correct for Family Day?
That is correct. We are playing Houston.
Yep. So Andrew, there you go. We'll be playing the University of Houston. Welcome to the Big 12.
That's right.
There you go.